The Hinterkaifeck murders are one of the most enduring unsolved mysteries in modern society. The case involves the brutal murder of a family of 6 and their maid in Germany in 1922. The Hinterkaifeck murders took place on March 31, 1922, when a family of 6 and their maid were brutally murdered at their farmstead in Germany, where the victims were bludgeoned to death with a pickaxe, and the killers had been living on the farm for several days before the murders. And the killers fed the livestock and took food from the kitchen, suggesting that the crime was premeditated. However, no motive or suspects have been definitively identified, and no conclusive evidence was ever found to link any suspects to the Hinterkaifeck murders despite an extensive investigation, leaving the identity of the killers unknown and the case unsolved to this day. Because it may be the discovery of the victims' bodies several days after the murders meant that the killers had enough time to cover their tracks and evade detection. This was further complicated by the fact that the crime took place in a rural area with limited resources and technology at the time, which made it difficult for investigators to collect evidence and solve the case. And moreover, one of the main mysteries behind the case is the identity and motive of the killers. There have been many theories and suspects, including family members, neighbors, and even a traveling salesman. However, none of these theories have been proven. Another mystery is why the family did not report the presence of an intruder on their property. It is possible that they did not want to cause trouble or that they did not take the threat seriously. The Hinterkaifeck murders have become a cultural phenomenon, inspiring books, documentaries, and podcasts. The case remains one of the most intriguing
Hinterkaifeck murders. So out in the small Bavarian town of Grubbern, a large farmhouse sat on a quiet property in the early 1900s. This was known as the Hinterkaifeck farm. About 40 miles north of Munich, this property was out in the deep rural wilderness. Farmland and dense forest surrounded the house, and the closest building was a neighbor's house, about 200 yards away, and an old church down the road. It was a Catholic church built in the 15th century, and the town cemetery sat right next door. At the time, the Gruber family had 6 people living in the farmhouse. Andreas, who was 63 years old, Cecilia, who was 72, and their widowed daughter, Victoria, 35 years old. She had recently lost her husband in the World War going on at the time, as well as her 2 children, Cecilia, who was 7, and Josef, who was 2 years old.